the
All right,
Supreme
good
Court
morning,
couldn't
guys.
get
Welcome
done,
to the
Congress could
Associated
do it.
Guess. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, we have some SCOTUS rulings. A lot of them good. One, not so great. I love how everyone always questions the political division of, or the political affiliation of anyone that votes against the party. In any case, the Democrats are horribly notorious for this. They've wanted to do it for, I can't remember the name of the guy who wears the hoodie all the time. Hey, good morning, Unuka. Oh, hey, Unuka, why I got you here, bub? Oh, no, I forgot to save it. You posted something that's kind of awesome. Is that... Oh, I thought I saw Supergirl in the sombrero. That would have been hilarious. Well, I can't find it now, but I saw something with a girl looking really sad with big titties, and then you, with AI, superimposed your picture, your avatar, into the photo, or the already AI-generated picture. What do you use? Like, what's your AI generator that does that so well? Just morbid curiosity.
Now let's look at those folks who voted out. Time for SCOTUS watch. So, we have the scorecard right here, and as always, we make the references available, link in the description. Every day that we stream, 11 a.m. weekdays. Why am I looking at this? This is a note.
That's your scorecard.
It says PB and J, Nanny Boo Boo, Hey Jude, Blink 182. I don't even. Something about colonization.
It was that Polish guy.
Yeah,
Oh, ChatGPT? No, that's what I use too. I don't know. Yours looks so much better than mine, but you're probably better at descripting, or you probably... Did you make your avatar on ChatGPT as well?
like that. Oh, I went to the wrong page. Birthright citizenship. You guys want to bring it up? This is Trump versus Barbara. The decision is they struck down President Trump's executive order, claiming that it violated the 14th Amendment. It was a 6-3 decision, dissenting Alito, Gorsuch, Thomas. Gotta love Thomas. He's the most reliable.
Unabashed conservative.
And they were saying in the decision that, sorry, a constitutional amendment might be required to change sort of this definition of birthright citizenship. And we give you
you're probably just really good at describing things.
Where I think there are some judges here who know that they may be incorrect, but this is a bridge too far. That's why I was surprised with the overturning when it was Roe v. Wade. I'm trying to remember, was it not Heller, Dobbs, the Dobbs decision. Because abortion was just one thing they would not touch. This is one because they understand that if they recognize birthright citizenship as it was originally intended, that unravels a whole lot, and the Democrat machine would invariably become violent. That's just my opinion.
I think the same. I think that's the reason that they won't release the rest of the Epstein files as well. I don't think it's anything that Trump's afraid of for him personally, because, again, I truly believe that if there was anything in there specifically about him... You have a character reference sheet? Interesting. Sorry. ADHD stopped me in the middle of the sentence. But no, I truly believe if he has actually been in there and been incriminated by what's in those files, that it would have been released during the Biden 4 years, when they were in control of everything, when the Democrats had everything. I truly believe that. There's no doubt in my mind. But they didn't. And there was a very, especially when other people were trying to run for 24, especially when the Republicans had seemed to have turned on Trump, because they've never really been for Trump. They just kind of seems like they're more terrified of him going back to just shoveling out all their shit like he did in the primaries back in 2015. No, wait. Was it 2015? Might have been 2016. But whenever it was. But the same for this. I really think that they're not going to overturn birthright citizenship as it was originally written in the Constitution, as just the way for slaves to be citizens. They were born here, so they should be citizens. And people whose families have built lives here, have had children and or progeny, whatever, and they are born here, therefore citizens. Not people who just come here on vacation, pop out a baby. It's going to have some kind of brain issues from being on a plane at 9 months or trekking long hikes while heavily pregnant.
So Kavanaugh did say that Congress can act on it. He said, consistent with the 14th Amendment, Congress could amend or otherwise enact new legislation establishing exceptions to birthright citizenship for children born to foreign citizens unlawfully or temporarily in the country, but Congress has not yet done so.
They should.
And Congress never does. This one, look, I know I said as far as abortion, as far as gay marriage, it is not for the Supreme Court to interpret something that has nothing to do with that specific subject. It is not for them to interpret. That being said, for birthright citizenship, it absolutely is for them to interpret. And as far as the other two go, when the Democrats have, like back during the Obama days, he had a supermajority in at least, I want to say, one of the houses, if not both. But he had a majority in both and a supermajority in one. I can't remember which was which off the top of my head. But that's when, if they were really pushing for this, if they really wanted something to change, they would have done it the right way and pushed it through legislation for gay marriage or for abortion. But nobody ever does that. They want to do things the wrong way. That way it can just be overturned when you get the opposite party in, or or a more neutral party, someone who's actually reading the laws as they were to be interpreted, as opposed to the way that either party can utilize them to burden the others.
Do so immediately.
Yeah, they can't even get the SAVE Act.
No, I understand, but they should do so immediately, and we should make them.
Yep. This is one.
We should absolutely make them.
And this is where it's important. When you say, hey, feckless Republicans, I get it.
Term limits.
This is a case.
All the
it's
way.
Trump v.
Yes.
Right? This is you don't see that.
Trump vagina?
That Trump v. Barbara. This is a case involving President Trump. Executive order. He's done everything that he can, by the way, through executive order, including H-1Bs, $100,000 fee, cut down on new ones, 87%, sealing up the border. He can't do all of it. So recognize those who are stonewalling, the Republicans who are useless, versus the man who's cited in this case. Instead people go, oh, Trump, it's all, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, whoever's next, because I didn't get all of it done. This sat before the Supreme Court, couldn't get done, Congress could do it. Now let's look at those folks who has an R next to their name and isn't going to get it done. Those are the people.
Sometimes the R stands for retard.
Figuratively, voted out.
Retardican.
Thomas, his reasoning here is that illegals are not legal domiciliaries in the United States. He wrote, both the Civil Rights Act and the Citizenship Clause guaranteed citizenship to persons born and domiciled in the United States, regardless of their race. Neither guaranteed citizenship to persons who were not domiciled in the United States. Well, yeah, that's actually really unlike Jackson. Was it Jackson Brown? This is really simple for anyone to understand. You may not agree with him. His argument can be understood by everyone. And remember, the drafters of the 14th Amendment, they never meant to give citizenship to everyone technically born on U.S. soil. 1866, Senator Jacob Howard, a drafter of the 14th Amendment, said, jurisdiction as here employed ought to be construed as applies to every citizen of the United States now. Gentlemen cannot contend that an Indian belonging to a tribe, although born within the limits of a state, is subject to this full and complete jurisdiction. Meaning just because you're born in the United States technically doesn't make you an American.
Right. And really what they're trying to address here is something that is so easy for everybody to go, well, yeah, of course that wouldn't make that person a citizen. Somebody who's here on a visa, or even worse, somebody who's here illegally. Right? Bring up the article that they're talking about. There's like over 1,000 companies in China, according to this article, that are set up for birth tourism.
Yep.
And the number that they put down here, and they're not even saying like just U.S. mainland. There are other places, obviously, people can go, but they said that they make that a little bit bigger if you can, that highlighted part. China's watchers estimate about 1,000 programs birthright. They claim a gobsmacking 1.5 million American babies are being raised in China by Chinese parents who've participated in birth tourism.
Just like
Does
Bruce
that
Lee.
sound like something that, let's forget what the framers, we'll come back to them in a second, but I'm pretty sure they'd agree with me. Does that sound like something any country would ever want to have or allow?
Of course
no,
not.
of course not. Does it sound like that was the intent of the frame? No, of course not. Does it sound like that guy who was one of the people who said this is the amendment and wrote it had that in mind? Of course not.
Of course not.
Why are we even talking about it then?
Yeah.
It does not
Just
make any sense.
like
Congress
Bruce
needs to act
Lee.
immediately on this.
And expert guidance. Ooh.
Absolutely.
Period.
Donald Trump has done about everything that he can without them, most things that he could do within his purview. Time for them to do something. My problem is with the Thunes of the world. My problem is with the Grahams of the world. My problem is with the Murkowskis of the world. My problem is not with Donald Trump or this administration, even though they are imperfect and sometimes I'm disappointed. They are trying, and they have been doing more than any president in my lifetime. I'm never going to forget that. People saying it's all the same,
It's not.
you're an idiot.
Yeah.
People saying, oh, if you say that, you're a shill. Really? For who? Ever see President Trump on this show? Name me one president who's done more on immigration.
That's a good point.
Name me one president who's even come close.
Name another president who's either accomplished or attempted to accomplish every single thing that he campaigned on. You can't, because there's not any. A lot of them are just spouting bullshit. He is at least attempted. Didn't always succeed, but he's even succeeded on more things than anyone else has even attempted.
Ever.
Whether or not you like what he does.
Name me one president who's pushed back against the LGBTQ gender-bending BS. And this is a guy, by the way, who was pro-gay marriage, but he's the one who had to say
And
there
still
are two
is.
genders.
Yeah.
Name me anyone else who's pushed back on the cultural rot that is the left. Even close.
Yeah.
I get it.
Exactly.
Is he a conservative? Maybe he's not at heart. Is he a Christian? Probably not. Didn't seem to be up until the moment he ran for office. Name me one president who has pushed back the way that this president has. As imperfect as he may be.
Yeah. And any Republican right now who does not put a bill forward or does not co-sign on a bill to correct this, but fundraises on this, absolutely gone. I don't want anybody, I don't want a Republican fundraising on this that has the ability to do something about it and refuses to do that, because it's just a grift at that point. They're just raising money on something that outrages you,
Yeah.
while they could probably do something about it and refuse to.
You know, like every other politician
Research
except
is
for
just
the
chiming in
current.
as well. The whole birth tourism thing that the Chinese are doing, it's taking place in Saipan, just northeast of Guam, and they say it's a U.S. territory, and the Chinese can literally travel there visa-free.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow, so there are multiple ways to exploit our system.
Exclude the territories? Is there?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a lot that we can do about this to affect this, and I hope President Trump is ready to start doing that, because his base wants it. We absolutely want this, and I could give a damn what the Democrats want by now. They're the DSA stuff that's just gonna sweep right through the nation if we don't start taking stands.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Supreme Court on April 1st during the argument in this case asked any American what our citizenship rule is. And they will tell you, if you're born here, you're a citizen, just like everyone else. And that,
Now
that
do
couldn't
man
be
and
more
woman.
fundamental to who we are as a nation. It's
Why?
something that the president tried to attack in his
Who we
executive
are as a
order.
nation
Why?
is
Why?
That is
touchdown. That's what we are.
Yeah,
That's what we
basically.
Are. Who we are is anyone born in the geographic
I can't wait for
borders,
someone to spike
even
their
if
baby upon
intentionally
birth.
fraudulent, is part of the country. That's who we are as a nation. You don't want to get into the conversation as to who we are as a nation. What does it mean to be American? The left will never answer that question, let alone the ACLU. They have to make sure that women get that there's some burqas that need to be on some driver's licenses.
The problem is this part that she doesn't say. You know, she says, "You ask any American, what does it mean to be born in the United States?" Oh, it means you're American. Yeah. That's what I would say too. But then you leave the quiet part out, the part where it's, oh, well, there's territories that the U.S. owns that you don't need a visa to go to, and it still makes you a U.S. citizen.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what do you think?
Or you've
well,
broken
I don't
the
know
law.
if that. Well, I don't know if that should be the rule.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Let's hear her make the case aside from the appeal to popularity fallacy.
Says he's going after immigrants, but in fact, what he's doing affects all of us in this
It
country.
doesn't. It doesn't.
And so the response
How?
I would give to President Trump and to those who sided with him is that the wisdom of the framers of the 14th Amendment and the Reconstruction
You just
Amendment,
read you the quote.
Shut up. You're an
the
anchor, baby.
wisdom of African Americans who fought for citizenship for all, not just for themselves,
No.
is triumphant
Native
today.
Americans.
And no amount of spin, no amount of propaganda that tries to divide Americans, that tries to scapegoat immigrant communities who are contributing to our country and to U.S.
150 to 450 billion dollars a year is what they cost the taxpayer, and that's the low end, sweetheart. See, it's lie on top of lie. They contribute. They're false. They're more law-abiding than the average native-born citizen. False. They're coming here and becoming American. False. They're fleeing persecution. They're refugees. False. None of these premises are true.
Unbelievable.
So you have to ask why. Votes.
There's a lack of critical thinking going on here too, and it's
I don't
on
think there's any
purpose,
kind of
right? Obviously.
regular
But
thinking even.
So many people out there would just buy this and be like, "Yeah, why would you be so heartless as to say that somebody born here is not an American citizen?"
Right.
Tell me why that needs to be the rule.
Yeah.
They'll never be able to do that. They'll never be able to go through that process and tell you why that needs to be the rule, and that's what makes us Americans.
Right. And the thing is with the left, everything is theoretical and everything is,
Yeah.
oh, you know, shouldn't it? Well, we already have the hard data. We already have the results from people who take this approach. Europe. Oh, you're
Yeah,
still here?
exactly.
You're still watching this on YouTube?
And we might get to that today. We'll see. I mean, we've already talked about that poor boy, and then they had the recent updated video of the guy just being like, oh, he knocked my turban off. So we stabbed him 5 times and didn't even mention that to the police. Why is he bleeding from the face? He's bleeding? It might be my blood.
This is what happens, right? This is called karma. Twitch streamer Frogan and YouTuber Ethan Klein's default judgment hearing. So a default judgment is when you don't respond to a lawsuit and you lose by default. Now,
Wait, default judgment doesn't mean I win because I ignored it and it went away?
now she's lost $180,000. As of right now, her GoFundMe is currently $39,000.
Aw.
Still accepting donations, the vast majority of which have not gone towards legal defense. What have they gone?
And on average, I have 2 people in here. On average, she has 34 people in hers, or at least the few times that I've peeked in on her, the few times that other people have shown hers. She doesn't have a lot of people in her stream anymore because it's mostly just her eating and crying and being a heinous bitch.
On towards. Nobody knows. Oh, this is it.
No wonder one of them mentioned 180. I was like, 180? I was like, my student loans? I was like, what? 180? I could go to the IDubs route. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not apologizing for shit. I'm not apologizing for jack shit. I'd rather peel my toenails off one by one.
Well, you might have to, but no one's going to pay $180,000 for those.
One by one and pluck every single hair follicle I have, then apologize to Ethan.
Why do you
Ooh.
do this? What's wrong with
Ooh, you sure showed him. You sure showed him 180,000 in the negative.
viewers, by the way? 2 hours into the show.
At the end of the day, guys, don't worry. I'm cooking.
What are you cooking?
People will
No, she's literally cooking. That's how she maintains this stature, we'll say.
think that I'm ignoring everything happening.
You are.
I'm not.
You
I
are.
didn't know there was an update. I guess it just happened like 2 hours ago, which is after business hours for lawyers. But don't worry.
Dude, this is the biggest.
You know
I've
what
had
time
so
zones
many
are, right?
calls with my lawyers at 9 at night. You know
Oh, yeah.
those guys are around all the time.
Yeah, also
Even
that.
lawyers-
There are no after business hours for lawyers. There's only after hours for you to contact them if you haven't already established contact with them.
I mean, I guess, right?
Just to be clear, she raised $39,000 on a GoFundMe for a legal defense that didn't even show up.
I don't know what's going through her head because she seems to think she hasn't lost. But I promise you, Frogan, you have lost.
No filing whatsoever from Frogan.
No.
At the end of the day, you guys don't think I'm stupid.
I think
I'm
she's
curious
stupid.
how
No,
you
she's
can
dumb.
Default judgment.
I'm curious how you can cook on a default judgment. That's a good question.
I can cook. I had the video paused.
I mean, look at her. She can cook with just about anything. She magically makes meals the same way you do in Breath of the Wild.
52% of the time.
What does this have to do with the... Did you read the lawsuit? Did you even read it?
I suggest you all watch it through other people as
Hey,
well.
thanks for the follow, Sunberg.
At the end of the day, say, I don't understand why people stalk the docket. It's so crazy to me.
It's because people hate you.
The
Yeah.
US military? Who f***ing who? I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
I hope your chair finally collapses under the weight of you on stream so we can have that forever.
How are you confused by this?
People are coming in here telling me shit I don't even know about my own lawsuit right now.
Oh my God, Matt. She
Yeah.
doesn't even understand
Because you're
what's
not
being
paying attention.
discussed. Whereas like the Frogan one was a lot more obvious.
Is
Like,
that Frogan?
default judgment is like,
Was it? Wait, was it? Or
It
are
was.
you just as stupid and don't know what happened there either? You have been wrong confidently throughout this entire process, and your audience doesn't know any better, and they're just...
Why is he dressed like a stereotypical 1980s Jewish uncle from the movies? Like, what is this suit? This is something you would see from like a weird uncle on Home Alone, or The Breakfast Club, or something like that.
Just like desperately
Or Uncle
looking
Buck.
for something to confirm their biases and to
why did the court say it was a default judgment then?
pretty obvious that you were wrong.
You can just look it up. How is it that nobody understands what actually is happening?
All of these guys are actively lying to you.
Is the
No, you're actively lying. That's what you do, Piker.
court document? Oh my.
If you follow these stupid reactionary fucking lawyers,
You-
oh, socialist, why won't he give these guys money? Trust me, if I offer support, you won't know about it.
I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support.
Based.
It felt like he
Yeah.
wanted to receive credit from the public from helping me without providing any.
It's actually crazy how dumb these people are.
Yeah,
It really
and she's right back to doing and saying everything that she used to say beforehand. She's actually even worse. I've tangled with her on X a couple times. She's a retard, yes.
Yes, it's so sad.
And Twitch streaming sucks. I fucking hate it. It's been bad for a few months.
Forget about the money, just have fun.
It's my job, though. I have to focus on the fucking money.
Aw. Well, you should focus on not buying those nails because you're not going to be able to afford them for a while. Retard. Speaking of retards, hey, let's see what Sneako's been up to.
Some retarded terrorist is going to
See?
be inspired. I'm a date. There one now that we covered. I believe was it this week or last week?
Last week.
It was #1, I believe, on Amazon. It's been going straight to the top. And now
Well, whether it's dubious food or not, it's certainly made her into, we'll say, dubious shape.
Backlash, Citizen Vigilante.
She looks
right?
like
That's up there, #1 on Amazon's charts.
oh, what's that Pokemon that can turn into all the other Pokemon? She's a Ditto. She's Ditto-esque in stature.
Also, by the way, was on X. Elon posted the full movie for 48 hours.
Which is awesome.
I wish
for
I had
those
caught
of
it.
you who haven't seen it, like I said, objectively, it's not a well-done film. But the message is bold, and the message resonates with people.
Yeah.
It's a man who
And let's not be confused, okay? U-Bowl or Uwe Boll, however you say his name, the German guy, he's not a good filmmaker. But I admire him because he keeps trying nonetheless. And he has stopped getting hold of franchises that people love, House of the Dead, several other horrible video game adaptations. They were not good. They were hilarious. I'm sure Chris Stuckman featured a lot of them before he started kissing Hollywood's ballsack, and because he wanted to get his crappy little movie made, a movie that reminded people of other movies, but didn't live up to the potential that you would think one had, considering how much he put into it and how much he loves the genre. Sorry. He seems like a sweet guy. He reminds me of a buddy of mine who would probably do the same if he had crowdfunding. But, God, don't you miss when Stuckman used to make fun of things? He was really good at breaking something down and still sounding super polite about it while completely thrashing it. I miss those days. Come back to us, original Stuckmanizer.
goes out and basically starts righting the wrongs, delivering justice to migrants who are committing crimes, raping, killing, the people Europeans are tired of as their representation turns a blind eye. And
not just migrants, too, by the way. There's parts of the movie where we assume the people who he's dealing justice to are whatever country it is, French citizens or whatever.
Yep.
It was Germany or France, something like that.
Well, it is.
I'd say it was Germany because he is Germany.
Dirty Harry. It was a crime wave problem. Now, those involved in said crime wave, especially in Europe, are largely migrants, largely recent migrants. So you just combine the backlash that you saw in the late 60s, early 70s in the vigilante genre, the anti-hero genre, and then you add reality. People going, yeah, we're soft on crime, we're sitting ducks in what is supposed to be a westernized, civilized country, and who's responsible for the vast majority of it? Oh, people who don't share our values. So, of course, this has led to some backlash from some people. So there are some people out there saying that the film is propaganda from the Jews.
Oh, not
Jews?
again! They're everywhere.
Yeah, that it's just the Jews to make you dislike Islamic third worlders, because Christians and Muslims actually have a lot more in common than Christians and Jews, or Christians and pretty much anyone other than Muslims. So the only way that this film could be made, or someone could say, I think we have a crime problem. Who's committing it? I think we have an incompatibility problem. Yeah, with Islam and the Western world. No, the only way you may think that is because a Jew tricked you.
No, Muslims haven't done anything themselves to make me think.
Right? No, of course not. It's
no.
No, that's stop.
No,
stop with your
no, of
filthy
course
Jew
not.
Speak.
Oh my God.
He went after a judge too in the film.
That's true.
Multiple judges.
Well, yeah, because thanks to the judges, these people are getting off scot-free.
So this was written on X. They wrote, a Jewish film produced by Israelis setting the white man against Muslims is what the establishment want you to watch.
Yuva Boll's German. Like an old German guy.
Robinson, funded by Israel, Gadsad, and Israeli, Rupert Lowe, a Zionist, are all part of the...
Everything I don't like is sponsored by Israel. Don't you get it, guys? Yeah, I saw a ton of people saying that it's the Jews. I don't understand it. And see, this is the same reason that I consider people who always blame Israel or the Jews or Juden. They're no different than people who are like, well, I was in a plane once when I didn't feel the plane going down until we started landing. That's not how it works. Look, I understand. I don't understand. I was going to say I understand not liking a particular person or whatever because they did a thing that you don't like. But to consider that every single thing... Sorry, a meme of Clarence Thomas doing the pointy thing during the WNBA just popped up on my feed. This right here. And the funny thing is, Nux confused the person who's actually in this video as Caitlin Clark. It's not Caitlin Clark. It's the other blonde one that I forget her name. Because Caitlin Clark looks a lot like Screech, and the blonde is actually attractive. And I'm not even a fan of blondes. But yeah, no, I don't understand why people can always... And Adame Media here is retarded, by the way. He's the anti-Israel shill. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand how you can blame with no proof, because a lot of this isn't true. There is absolutely no way that Yuva Boll... I'm not saying that he's above it. I'm just saying that Israel could probably afford a better filmmaker to make propaganda. That's all I'm saying. Because Yuva Boll is not a good filmmaker. I admire his passion. He's been doing it his whole life. He's rich, I guess. He's basically... Tommy Rousseau? The guy who made The Room? He's just like, oh, hi, Mark. He's basically that. We know where he's from. He's from Germany. And, but like I said, I admire his passion, but there's no way that Israel would hire a shitty German filmmaker to push their propaganda. I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry.
Same psyop. Don't fall for the literal goy slop. Well, here's the truth.
Oh, man.
The film... written, produced by Uwe Boll and other, not only non-Jews.
He seems like an awesome dude, though. Like, I've seen him.
German.
Yeah, and I've seen the dude. He's been on Side Scrollers once or twice. I've seen him on a couple of other things. He seems like an awesome dude. I'm just saying. But he's a shitty filmmaker. I'm sorry. I've watched almost all of his movies, that being said. He's my favorite so bad it's good filmmaker.
The Germans are getting nationalistic again, huh?
Well, you know, against Islam.
Good for them. I'm glad. I'd be glad
Yes.
across the board.
Yes, we are back, but this time we are against the Islamic Juden, the Islamist.
Unilaterally for any nation other than Germany, where I get a little bit like, listen, can you guys handle the nationalism?
Good for you guys, but maybe just don't be the front runner here.
Yeah.
Like it'll be that weird sequel where Germany turns into the Jews' best friend, like where the bad guy turns into he helps the good guy, and they're just like kind of an ambiguous ending there where they're like, "We'll see you around," and he goes, "Not if I see you first." I can't do a good German accent. I apologize. Not on purpose, at least.
The opportunity here. They just need a creative outlet. We need to point them at Muslim countries, and all is well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they won't because that's what the Jews want you to do. This is, just think about this. This is how lazy it's become. I get it. Apex should go screw themselves with a wire brush. You were just on Alex Jones' show. We were talking about how Israel, risking this ceasefire, the agreements. They were walking around. Being little piss ants, being piss ants, bothersome. I get it. But the idea that you could only objectively view the problem of waves of Islamic migrants, that you could only view it as a problem because a Jew told you so. Okay, I read the Quran. No Jew opened the pages. I did it myself. And you see these same stupid takes on this film. So it's, of course, the left and the Marxist right. The left and the Marxist right. They don't want this. Sneako, who's barely walking upright, posted this on X. He wrote,
It's completely true.
Is going to be inspired by citizen.
I mean, that's why they call him Sneako, because he always is slouched over, so it looks like he's sneaking around, but he's not. That's just how he walks, because he's a troll, he's a caveman, he's a retard.
Vigilante, and Elon Musk is not going to bail them out of jail. The two Mexican catboy Nazis who tried to shoot up the San Diego mosque should have been enough of an alarm. The war on Islam is a war on humanity. No.
All right, so one attack on a mosque, and the world's out to get the Muslims. How many times have there been attack on Jewish people or Israelis who weren't even religious or were Christians by Islamists? Not just in Israel, but in America and all across Europe. People getting arrested or removed from a block by police because they look a little too Jewish for this block. I can't do accents this morning. Forgive me.
By the vast majority of terrorist attacks, the overwhelming majority, almost all of them, carried out in the name of Islam, as seen by 200 million Muslims across the world supporting violence against civilians. To be clear, that's a war against humanity. But he wasn't done with stupid takes. Here's more.
The same way that cartel gangs are not Catholic, the Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over-exaggerated.
It's not. It's not. And Sneako's not good at analogy.
Rewind it. That was so mind-numbingly retarded that I want people to hear it again.
That's why his eyes are rolled up like that, because he's, look at this.
The same way that cartel gangs are not...
Now, I don't know if this is him stimulating the creative cortex of his brain, or if he literally has it written on the wall, this stupidly idiotic statement.
Catholic.
Oh, my God.
The Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over-exaggerated.
Right next to agreeable white guy.
Well, I would say one thing when it comes to this, I call it counter jihad. That's mostly what it's called. It's mostly based in Europe. You saw that Rupert Lowe guy. He had a clip come out where he said that he disavows ethnic nationalism and he disavows this stuff. And
also, pause. Are we just going to skim past the term counter jihad like it's anything other than awesome?
Yeah.
Yes, counter jihad. What's jihad? I'm counter that.
Yes.
I'd also take anti-jihad. Or jihad sucks.
Jihad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
jihad
pro
reversal
jihad.
card. Draw 4, skip your jihad.
Yes.
Continue.
In the last section of the report, it talks about this global, Islamic caliphate that rapes, Sikhs and Jews and Christians.
Correct.
And predominantly Muslim countries, and it's so obvious what's happening here. It's just
they're telling the truth.
Talking points to criticize Islam with that are mostly false to get a domestic base rallied up against Islam because the Zionists are really mad at Muslims.
Oh yes, it's Juden. Again, Juden. Yes, it's the Jews.
Who would be?
And Sneako's very turned on right now. He might have this guy fuck his girlfriend. We all know that's what Sneako likes to do. But forget Jews. Every day a church is burned in France by Muslims. No, not just France. It's happened in England. It's happened all across America. Churches and synagogues burnt down mysteriously. We don't know who's burning down all these churches, and it's not just regular churches. It's historic, very historic churches. I'm dyslexic, and his name looks like X, like a doormat for me. You're fine, but.
Inclined towards a foreign policy to get really mad at Muslims because Muslim countries are who, you know, we'll call it the Epstein class, the Zionists, the ruling elite are really mad at.
Okay, two things. First off, you can't do the Julius Caesar haircut. No one should do it other than Julius Caesar. It doesn't work. It didn't work for the Backstreet Boys. It doesn't work for you. I want to play.
It didn't work for 90s white boy soccer players in
the
America.
Beginning of that video one more time because the false premise, and this was used by the left post 9/11, my entire life, it's really, really easy to dispel. So they start with a false premise and then migrate you to Zionist Jews. And some people go like, well, yeah, maybe I wasn't thinking critically. Let's start off with the false premise one more time.
The same way that cartel gangs are not Catholic.
That's stupid.
Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over.
And this guy over here is like, yeah, right on,
These
sister.
people are not real Muslims.
Okay, stop. All right, let me.
Oh, they're
explain
not
it.
real
The same way
Muslims.
those cartels are not Catholic. Okay. Here are the charters.
They're the
and
pretend
or official
Muslims,
statements
just like the
of-
pretend
let's start
side.
with ISIS. We will conquer your Rome, break your crosses, and enslave your women by permission of Allah, the Exalted. This is his promise to us. Hamas. The day that enemies usurp part of Muslim land, jihad becomes the individual duty of every Muslim. Muslim Brotherhood. The movement, Islam, must plan and struggle to obtain the keys and the tools of this process and carry out this grand mission as a civilization jihadist. Here's part of the UK grooming gang testimony from the victim. They believed they had a position of religious and moral superiority over non-believers. They believed it was their duty to punish us. As you see, that would echo Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, as they believed that doing so made them good Muslims. Okay, so we went through Hamas, Muslim.
And yes, they are a religion of peace because they will have peaceful lives once they've exterminated all the infidels.
Brotherhood, ISIS, you could probably do Hezbollah. You could take the words from the Muslim rape gangs themselves. Why are they doing this? Allah. What is this? Jihad. What are you? Muslim. So you are doing this because I am a Muslim who follows Allah and this is my righteous jihad. Okay. Now find me one statement from Mexican cartels who say that they're dealing drugs in the name of Catholicism. Fucking retard. It's so stupid.
I know.
Sorry for the language, but I've been dealing. I remember I had a teacher in the 8th grade got sent to the office. I said, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Just like all Christians, you know, you don't say, you know, Carla." We had Carla Hamalka, my child. Carla Hamalka is so all Christians are guilty. What? 8th grade. I believe it was 8th. I said, what?
Close enough.
Did they say they were doing it in the name of Jesus Christ? They were doing it, and by the way, do you have hundreds of thousands or millions of more examples throughout history? Certainly many, many thousands of examples of the jihadists themselves, and millions of examples of people who support it. So even if you could find one quote from some cartel saying, "I do this in the name of Jesus," you still wouldn't
Bless
find
you.
millions of supporters saying, "Yeah, sometimes it's okay to deal fentanyl in the name of Christ."
If it's in the correct community, apparently.
Flash Crowder.
Hey, these guys, listen, you saw the two things that he did. One, that these are not real Muslims. Well, who gets to define that?
Him.
They're coming from Pakistan, a
Them-
nation that
them,
was set
themselves.
up by Muslims to make sure that they had a religious state for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? They're coming from that ancestry. It's not like some guy from America who just converted.
Yeah.
They're real Muslims. And also,
Well, I mean, Sneako's that, but no, the ones that he looks up to are, you know, scary.
was exaggerated, grossly. There's no evidence of that. There are claims. There's no evidence of that. He's trying to minimize everything and push it to the side. And then tell me that they're going to be honest, even if those two things were actually true. Let's say that the report wasn't exaggerated, and these guys are practicing Muslims. All of the tenets of Islam met, done. They're praying every single time they're supposed to pray. They're giving alms to the poor, whatever percentage they're supposed to do, towards Muslim causes, of course. All of that. Are you still going to say that they're not really Muslim? Because you're just going to lie to Americans and hope that they believe it?
Well, by his standard, Muhammad was not a real Muslim. So, great, we
There
get
you
it.
go.
It's not a real religion. Stop following the imaginary, stupid, goofy, dumb religion. Let's go on to Europe! By the way, people think, no, I'm not debating any of these silly little bastards. He was invited on. I watched the moment. On his, I always do prep. Sneako wanted to come on. We said, okay, we're very polite. Lena Brain reached out. His chat was like, dude, you don't want this. You don't want.
Yeah.
You're going on Crowder. You are not ready. And then he wanted my personal cell phone number. Like, can we talk?
No, and you see what he does to Piers Morgan all the time. Like Crowder seems like he's one of the only people that can talk any kind of sense into Piers Morgan. Why that is, I don't know. Because he's got the facts and he's got all of his references on hand at all times. Like I said, I don't have a lot of love for him personally. I think a couple of things he does are kind of annoying, but at least since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he's been on point, extra on point. Like I said, he's always come with the facts, and I've always respected him for that. But he's really been on point ever since.
Beforehand? No! Time's up! Window closed. All right.
Come take
but
your
we'll debate other people, for it's appointed to a man once to show up here.
You could debate him and ask him which one is grossly exaggerated, the Epstein files or the Pakistani grooming gangs.
That's yes.
Or is it only one of them?
Yeah, and I would say, I'll debate you. Hey, in the middle of him making his points, I'd go, what do you think about this? That's Muhammad.
Or pull up an illustration about the time Muhammad got gangbanged.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the Blue MonSTAR from Space Jam.
Nice.
See? Exactly. I'm not the only one that thinks so.
He does the real skinny
after
guy,
after they lose the juice.
Wait, the
Yes,
Jews?
yeah, after they lose the juice.
Oh my gosh. Just to be
The
clear,
juice.
I get everyone can have different opinions. I understand it on Israel. They can be reasonable opinions, and we get flack from both sides. Oh, you're we get people saying, "I don't like that you're anti-Semitic now." What's Israel? So, what? But I will say this: if you actually believe that a critical view or a negative view of Islam in 2026 can only be due to Jewish or Zionist propaganda, if you actually believe that, I don't want you watching. I don't want you watching. You are not capable of critical thought. You can even say that Zionists or Jews would have a vested interest in people being continuously angry with Muslims. Okay, sure, but to say that that is the only reason that a human being, a non-Muslim in 2026, can see some faults with that religion, but my preference, go watch someone who feeds you the dumb shit that you want to hear.
I don't need a Jew to tell me I don't like the call to prayer blasting in the city at 5 a.m.
Exactly.
I don't need a Jew to tell me.
And people will compare it to church bells. First of all, not every city has church bells. And secondly, church bells are nowhere near as annoying as however many times a day. It's at least 3 times a day, I want to say, the call to prayer. And it's so long. It played when I was in Afghanistan both times. And it's obnoxious, it's annoying, and you can't just go inside wherever you live to get away from it. It's kind of awful. And when you hear it outside when you're walking around, it kind of feels like one of those 80s movies. Just saying.
That. I have ears.
Or like the opening scene from Team America.
They're the ones being genuine. Nothing to see here as it relates to Islam. Hey, if you're still watching this, you may be one of the 6 million or so subscribers.
And something just fun.
Could do it with a shirt. Glorified Barbie doll. You guys sent the
Something that's just fun. Ellen Page. A bastion of mental illness. I really do feel bad for her. I do. Mostly because her left nipple now looks like a star or a starfish. They did not do a good job. They did a great job fashioning her abs and muscles to look like she actually has them, because I do not think this person actually works out at all. At all. Everything about Ellen Page is an anti-science experiment.
This in just to get me aggravated.
More aggravated, I think.
I'm a little aggravated too because somebody in this video has better abs than me.
Well, it's really easy to do if you buy them.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah. Ellen Page, who wants to convince you that she's a guy. I'm not buying it. That's just my opinion. Here she is releasing her ultra new, not vain footage of her boxing.
With pool toys. You too can use pool toys. You wouldn't mind if they... No, exactly. If they didn't use speakers to blast it all across town. Like the same things... I'm pretty sure it's the same speakers they use for like old air raids. It's too much. It's too much. Just know what time you're supposed to do it and do it.
Do it with a shirt.
But then again, like... I guess I kind of understand because I was in the military, and at the beginning and the end of every business day, they play. I can't remember the name of the song, but where you have to salute in whichever direction the post flag is. If you're driving, you have to get out of your car on the active street if you're on base and face that direction. Yeah, that's not super dangerous if there's stupid teenagers around. This looks like someone training their toddler.
This is the worst boxing training related incident since Stephen A. Smith punched a midget in the dick.
Don't hit a man while he's down.
I understand why people have had enough with midget dicks. I too feel the same way about the dicks of midgets.
Midgets.
By the way, Stephen A. Smith put that video out of himself on purpose.
And so did she.
Yes.
So did she. Here's the thing. It doesn't look that bad, and I get it. But you also need to know that it's one of the easiest things to do in boxing or combat sports, to choreograph hitting pads. We all saw this, for example, where Ronda Rousey said she was emerging now, not as a judo fighter, but a new and improved boxer. And boy, she looked like a pro hitting pads.
Go. There you go. Get it. Perfect. That was the best one. Smooth. Dance. Go. Yes.
And that was her trainer, Edmund Taveri. And you want to go down a rabbit hole. He had a picture of Muhammad Ali and other famous boxers up in his gym, and him.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying she's dropping male sparring partners with body shots. So when I say she could beat men in professional boxing, I absolutely mean it.
They're probably guys who barely boxed or never boxed.
Ronda is in big trouble, Mike. Nunez's hands are down.
Guess she lost her plan.
She tagged her again.
Oh.
And Rousey was a grappler. She never should have tried to match Nunez in boxing.
And I know what you'll say is, well, of course, anyone when you're on Queer Street and you've had your bell rung, sure. But she never displayed any ability to box in a fight. By the way, she didn't need to. She was an unbelievable judo fighter. She's still a very effective female fighter, just to be clear.
A great grappler, great judo fighter.
Time where people are going, oh my gosh, she's a good boxer. They actually had a great one where he was mic'd up, Edmund Taveri, and you could hear him while she's fighting. He's like, hey, head movement, head movement, head movement, head movement, head movement.
No.
Just for that. Big like.
Why is the Ellen doing the thing? Why is this for a movie?
I think I think that she's showing off, saying, "You said I couldn't play Achilles, but look at this."
No, what we're saying is that you're a woman, and why when you became a man did you do all the douchey stuff and then decide like, well, boxing, that's aggression? I thought you guys were against that. Like, shouldn't you just be like a thinker somewhere, like sit around and drink coffee and think about life's problems?
No, she's a man now.
Let's see how it goes. Those never get old for me. I know they're not the best stud, but they get me every time.
No.
She does man things like fighting.
And here's the thing. She wants you to go, look. Oh, people, because what?
It was just the way Josh delivered that so disingenuously.
Oh,
Thank you, Josh.
No, I meant it.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
That's why people always say that about me. They say, you're not manly enough.
Oh.
And I go, why? No, is it because of the no fighting thing? And they're like, yeah, that's because of the no fighting thing.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, Josh has never seen a fight.
Yeah, she.
That's true.
So Elliot Page too. I see people going, look, well, she is pretty ripped. Well, yeah, she bought it. Let me ask you this: what do you think the perception would be of, let's just say, any man who was a social influencer who did none of the time in the gym, like let's just say yesterday was a 20-something% body fat, tiny for a man, skinny fat male with no athletic ability, no muscle tone whatsoever. And then over the course of really only a couple months, rampant hormone abuse, liposuction, sculpting, and cosmetic procedures.
Yeah.
What do you think people would say? Do you think people would say,
Shapeshifter.
oh, man, he's an inspiration. Look how beautiful. Or do you think they said, well, he cheated. He took the shortcut. That's
Yeah.
Elliot. That's Ellen to Elliot Page.
You're just like that Asian dude who made himself a Ken doll, who sculpted himself fake muscles. And did he try to get in a fight because he believed his own bullshit and get like fucked up? I'm gonna have to look that up at some time. But there's this guy who got too much plastic surgery. He's an Asian dude to make himself look like an actual Ken doll. Kind of wonder if he's anatomically the same. But anyway, continuing.
Me, if we came back from our vacation,
yeah,
and I came back and I was like showing off my abs, you guys would all give me all this.
You went to Colombia and had that crazy doctor who
I
does
want
the
you to
whole
give me
laser a body.
I might
onto
go
me.
down there, do that, get sculpted, be fat by Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? Hey,
depending on how much it costs, I mean, yeah.
if you felt good about yourself, cool. No one else would go, hey, by the way, this is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be every single comment. For crying out loud, when you have guys online who are slightly big and people go, yeah, why don't you talk about steroids? It's a constant check on men. Everything about Ellen Page came out of a syringe, a bottle, a laser, or was etched on or using a scalpel. That's it. That's it. She didn't develop abs. It's all cheating. Just like men claiming they're women and dressing up like a glorified Barbie doll. This is the problem with the left. They go, oh, we shouldn't actually stereotype women, and is that what you think
Yes.
a woman is? Well, I don't know. Why don't you ask Bruce Jenner? That's exactly what he thinks a woman is. He thinks it's Barbie's funhouse brought to life, and you said woman of the year.
And just like Dylan Mulvaney started his whole quote-unquote journey because he was literally making fun of women. He was a gay dude that was making fun of women. That's how it started. And then people started noticing him, and he's like, oh my God, this is fun. And then he started getting surgeries, and he just went with it. And now he's more well-known than ever. But still a dude.
They can't hold any standards consistently.
A mutilated
Okay,
man.
cool. If Elliot Page wants to do some boxing with pool noodles, all right, fine.
Speaking of punchable faces.
Yeah, see, exactly. They look very
Spot
similar.
on. Yeah. And they're both saying the Jews.
Yes, Juden.
All right. Anything else that I'm missing?
Well, not something necessarily that you're missing, but what about, so we talked about the birthright citizenship thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to like really express your thoughts at all, or do you have any thoughts about
why
for the direction of the country? I just mean like in general.
Well,
like,
I did.
What this means. Did
Are you saying I
already do
missed
that?
something? Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I'd
Why
give
are
you the
people saying that I didn't talk
No,
about it? What are you
we
talking
kinda
about?
went- no,
It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
No,
And they
no,
try. I said it's lie after lie after lie built, and they try and go back to the framers.
I
Oh, we
know
just
that.
quoted one of the framers, dummy.
Yeah,
No, I'm not saying that Gerald, but I'm saying like it's just
No,
built
Gerald
lie
wasn't
after lie
listening
after
to the
lie, and the left can't tell you. The left can't tell you.
Hold on, real quick. After recently raising prices on the PS5 and amid growing concerns over the potential price of PS6, Sony has stated that they had no plans to sell hardware at significant losses, which means they're going to up their prices as hardware increases its price. To which I'll say, you'll lose the same money in loss of sales But at least your consumers would still respect you, and you could recoup it, said losses, in the sales of all the franchises your American team ruining. Oh, never mind. Because the sequels to all their main games have been substantially less profitable and less good on every avenue except for a few gameplay tweaks. You know what I mean? Just like PlayStation is just anti-consumer at this point. The developers of their games have a fuck the fans mentality. And if they didn't have that mentality, then PlayStation would absolutely be able to sell their consoles at a loss and recoup it with all the game sales that they would make. But now they won't make those game sales or those console sales. No one's going to spend $1,000 fucking dollars on the next. Well, I mean, some people are, but some people just have that much disposable income. But you're going to see a significant drop in PlayStation sales. Especially if the PS6 doesn't have a disc drive. I'm sorry. You're going to need a disc drive because people use it as some kind of video media. At least old people do, like me.
What it is to be American. They can't. They don't want to.
What are you popping oxys over there?
Listen. I hope not. Share and share alike,
right,
Gerald.
dude. Come on.
I will say this yesterday. What was that? Oh,
I read something in the post about sharing drugs, and I want some.
No, listen. Yesterday
I've yet to receive.
So yesterday I did. So I don't. For you guys, right here, I have a monitor that has CNN on it, so I can see if something's breaking. And I missed a good 2 minutes of what you said because of what was happening.
okay.
It wasn't CNN.
Yeah.
It was somebody selling 50-cent rolls of pennies. Brand new 2025 pennies for $9.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling. And it was an ad, and I'm like,
is this because they're saying they're going to be worth more since there won't be pennies anymore?
I mean, maybe, but I was just like, if anybody ever gave me that as a gift, I would put it in my hand and punch them in the face.
I put it in a sock, and Charles Bronson's Death Wish.
What the hell
hey,
is this?
punk, your math doesn't add up.
It wasn't just me. Billy, right after the show, he goes, hey, did you see that 50-cent thing? And I'm like, yes, I did. I missed a good couple of minutes of what Steven was saying. So anyway, it didn't happen today, though. That happened yesterday.
That's right, in the post, yeah, drugs. I mean, we can even talk. Remember that was one of the hit pieces? I remember, yeah, I gave you, whatever it was, a Tomazepam when we did that show at, it was either SMU
Allegedly.
or U of M. Who cares? Oh, people will say, oh,
Allegedly.
Yeah, we're going late. Yeah, we need some help sleeping. I'm like, yeah, that was the big hit piece.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, you hurt your neck. Well, yeah, I have some extra gabapentin left over from the surgery.
You monster.
Huh? And you know that's because the hit pieces didn't say anything other than that.
Right.
They were hoping that you would just go, he was dealing fentanyl on the street. Yep. And by the way, I'd do it for any of my friends today if I had.
You deal fentanyl on the street?
That's true. I did. And I'm glad that you didn't tell the folks what I gave you before the CLS.
Hurry up, we only got a few hours.
Me and Johnny Boy just treat him like a human petri dish. We're like, let's see what happens to Josh if we
A human
do this.
pincushion?
Nom, 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 nom.
Mikey, he likes it.
That seemed a little too enthusiastic.
You're still here.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Looks like we got just enough time to get into...
I hate seeing what's happening right now. I hate it because obviously I've got 4 kids, and this could be my kids. Every time I see one of these stories.
Sorry, I wanted to end this on an up note, but we have plenty of time for this, so... Well, not plenty, but some.
Some kid to death. I'm just... I have to kind of disassociate, right? I have to just not think of it as a real event, as if I'm reading historical events. So of course, when you're reading about history, you read some of the worst things. I mean, mankind has been forever cruel to itself all
Yes.
throughout history, and you don't feel it, right? You don't think about them as being real, living, flesh and blood people who go through some of the worst things that you can even conceive of. And at the end of it, you just like, wow, just okay, yeah. So they flayed him alive. If they killed them or they executed them, they cut off their heads. I mean, pillars of skulls, whatever it is. Just the sacking of any city, the pillaging of any city. What that means in that short sentence is the murder of all the men, the rape of all the women, and the enslavement of anyone who survives. It's awful, right? Genuinely, like days worth of horror going on, but you don't really think about it because it happened so long ago and it was so remote that it is just like, right, okay, and they did this and that's terrible. I mean, don't normally have to pass judgment on it. And then they carried on to the next city, or they did this and they had this battle or whatever, right? You don't really feel the visceralness of it because it's the remoteness from you. But when you've got just some poor 17-year-old kid who gets lured to a building site and then beaten unconscious into a coma and then dies 3 days later as Louis Harave? I'm not sure what his surname is. For some reason.
And this kind of thing, it's not just isolated to migrants, but it does seem to be a lot more prominent. I mean, stuff like this happened back when I was a kid, not nearly as much, at least where I'm from, but friends of mine from big cities would move to my hometown, and they tell me about a lot of stuff, man. And a couple of them even had really fucked up videos of stuff that they witnessed, that they found ways to record, and that's what got their parents to move them out of these cities. Because I mean, you hear about these things, but you don't want to believe that it happens. And then when it happens to your kid, or when it happens to your kid's good friend, or if they videotape it and show you that they were present for this, that it's something that their friends were doing. But and a lot of times it's something as small as your race. A lot of times it's something as small as you just happen to say something that was either taken wrong or was you responding to them disrespecting you, and you disrespected them back, give and take, and they couldn't handle it. This is a lot of the reasons why I've been hit in the head so many times, is because I don't like to hurt people physically. So I learned to talk shit better than my bullies, and a lot of them became my friends because of this, because I made them laugh, because I could find a way to make fun of them or make fun of myself enough to where they thought I was funny, so they kept me around for entertainment, like a court gesture, if you will. It's not the most respectable position, but it's where I was. And sometimes these people were mad because I embarrassed them horribly in front of people, because I went all B-Rabbit from the end of 8 Mile and revealed something that wasn't wide known, but I was a good guesser. I still am, and it was true. And they lost their shit and tackled me. But just as me not being able to shut up got me into these situations, me not being able to shut up got me right out of it. Because it's hard to... Apparently it's difficult to beat someone up who's still talking shit to you like you're not even hitting them while you're pummeling them in the face and stomach. And if I lost concentration and couldn't shamble my way through a sentence while I'm getting attacked, I would just start laughing maniacally like the Joker. And they would just kind of awkwardly go away. And people thought I was crazy for a little bit. I mean, it might be accurate, who knows? But it worked. It got people off me. And I made a lot of good friends. A lot of my bullies became some of my best friends. And seeing this is actually what got me to be friends with a couple of the local migrant workers when I was in Kandahar, both my tours. And the people I met on my first tour were still working there on my second tour when I came back, and I was happy to see them. And I was sad to hear about some of them that were no longer with us.
It doesn't say what a surname is in this article, but this.
But yeah, no, it's sad. Like this stuff happens, and people, it's sheer cowardice. The fact that, I mean, look, this kid doesn't look like he's any kind of assailant. He might be a wisecracker. He might have a smart mouth. Who knows? But no words is worth someone's life. And it's certainly not worth a bunch of cowards who travel in packs teaming up on this one person. It makes them feel powerful, but all it is they're a bunch of bitches. All of them. And I'll say that to their face, and I'll probably be beaten to death. But I will say it until my dying breath.
A guy called Lewis in Narbonne, killed by a bunch of migrants because they thought it was funny. They beat him to death because it was funny to them. And his mother, of course, was like, I'd like these people to be tried as adults, because why not? If they murder someone, they 100%. Can definitely be tried as adults, I think.
Or send them the fuck home.
The attackers filmed the beating and shared the footage on social media, enabling detectives to identify those involved quickly.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm glad they're some of the dumbest fucking human beings on earth. They record it and share it on social media. Please, criminals, do more of this. I mean, do less crime and be better people. But if you're going to be shitty humans, by all means, record it and put it online. Please. Please, your local police precinct thanks you.
Why did they do that, do you think?
Because they have 60 IQ.
Beating a kid to death and put it up on social media. I mean, you think, if nothing else, self-preservation would...
Because their uncles put out all those, ISIS videos.
Make them think, well, hang on a second, guys, we're not going to show everyone we've done this, are we? No, they don't care about that, because, of course, they're the first-class citizens. For them, stamping their dominion on the French people by beating their sons to death, that's a privilege that they enjoy as far as they're concerned. This is funny to them.
Because they're trying to make themselves the next celestial dragon class.
Narbonne's deputy police commissioner described the act as an act of rare violence. Is it rare, though? Is it rare? I'm not sure that it's rare. I think it's happening quite often, actually, in your country and in my country. This sort of thing happens on a really regular basis. During questioning, some suspects claim the assault was motivated for revenge for alleged incidents dating back several years, but these claims are unsubstantiated. Yeah, don't believe it.
Yeah, something that kid did a few years ago when he was 13, 14, really stuck in one of these guys' crawls, and he's made friends since then. This was a revenge tale. No, this was a bunch of low IQ hooligans, thugs, just doing what they do.
And Lewis had previously been reported being assaulted on two separate occasions in the weeks before his death.
Imagine.
Okay, so they were just marked him out. Like, this is just something that happens, right? The press and social media reports differ on whether the assailants are indeed immigrant extraction. Well, I mean, some definitely were. I'm not going to show the video, but you can see that some are definitely the descendants of immigrants if they themselves are not immigrants. Like I said, I'm not going to show the video, though. But his mother says, well, look, now's not the time for mourning, now is the time for war. And in a way, that's a pretty accurate description, actually, isn't it? Like, these attacks are done racially by one group against members of another group for a reason. I mean, for the fun of it, it seems. Much like young Spartans killing Hellas to keep them in their place, that's how it feels. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man, like, my patience is wearing really thin. You know what I mean? Back when I was a liberal, I had a debate with Andrew Anglin, of all people. And if you're an old head, you'll know who Andrew Anglin was. And when I was a liberal, I didn't agree with a lot of what he was saying. But there was one bit that really struck me, and I had no comeback for. And his point was, if they weren't here, none of this would have happened. I can't remember what he was talking about, grooming gangs, so I assume at the time. But that's always stuck with me, because ultimately, that's true. It's very hard to argue against at that point. If they weren't in France, they wouldn't have beaten this lad to death. Good point. Can't argue it. Would have been better that he lived and them lived somewhere else, would it not? Anyway, this provoked protests, so a few thousand strong maybe at most. This is not the entire crowd, the video does pan around. So maybe 1,000, 1,500 strong, something like that, in Narbonne. And you'll notice how white that crowd is. Right? It's just point there. One tribe is feeling like they're under attack, and they're using the language of war to describe what's happening to them. And this language is now becoming expressed in our media. Of course, the Citizen Vigilante film is set somewhere in Europe, though it's not disclosed where exactly. And this is becoming a part of the zeitgeist. How much can people take? And I just want to be clear, I'm all for democratic solutions. 100% for democratic solutions. When you can see some of the people, I mean, some of them might have been French, to be honest, but some of them obviously weren't. But anyway,
I still maintain this is that red pill guy. It looks a lot like him. That one that's very red pill and barely speaks English.
Either way, this is an atmosphere where people have just had too much. These monstrous things.
And I don't care. I don't care if they're citizens. I don't care if they're migrants. If they beat this kid to death, then they deserve to be prosecuted as adults. I don't care. I don't care. But it's France. And the French are not known for seeing things through to the end. They're known for surrendering. And being outdated. It's very sad.
Why would he? Why would Macron say that? Why would he say nothing? Why would he say anything? Like, Alice Weedle of the AFD has paid tribute to him. Macron has said nothing because this is just normal. This is the system operating as intended. Yes, we have created Heinlein's ultra-violent youth who are going around terrorizing people. Yes, eventually it will come to a military dictatorship. But until that point, they don't care. They just don't care. It just isn't their problem. It's not going to be their kids. It's just not. They don't feel they have an obligation to you. Alice Weedle does. Rupert Lowe does. I don't know if Rupert Lowe's chimed in on this, but Rupert Lowe chimes in on those atrocities that happen in Britain. Like, there are some politicians that do, but they're massively sidelined. I mean, Weedle is probably actually in the lead in the polls at the moment in Germany, but generally, they're the ones considered to be the problem politicians, right? Like Pauline Hanson in Australia for years have just, her name was mud until the problem started manifesting in Australia, and then suddenly she started going up in the polls. It's not popular, but we are going to have representation, as in politicians who actually think we, the native citizens of our country, the native peoples of our country, are who the country is for. I mean, there's just I don't see what Macron would have lost by coming out and saying this is a terrible event. You're going to feel the full force of the law. Like, Keir Starmer might have said something about this.
Would he have though?
I'm sure he made a statement about Henry Novak and Vikram Digra. I'm sure he did. So the conspicuous silence can't help but feel that this is part of the plan, right? This isn't exactly the first time. This is just another example from a year ago, where a 17-year-old French youth was killed by migrants in an axe attack, where they chopped his neck in front of his mother and he bled to death. And it's just like, okay, how much more do we have to take of this? I mean, Nimes or Nîmes, I don't know how French words are pronounced, but they've imposed a youth curfew. This was almost a year ago now. Again, not even a year ago. Like French cities imposing youth curfews as gang violence escalates across immigrant-heavy neighborhoods. Of course they are. Curfew for minors comes after shootings, arsons, and threats to kill children amid rising drug-related violence, but not everyone thinks it will make a difference. Yeah. I mean, do these people strike you as the sort of people who follow the law? Just out of interest. But why are any of them in your country? For the sake, and don't get me wrong, I'm not pointing fingers. There are loads of people in my country. Why are they in my country? Why are they in your country? Why do we allow these people in Europe generally. I'm completely.
And again, aren't some of our countries bad enough before we have all this extra? I mean, the crime rates in a lot of these countries were already pretty high, and then you start allowing infinite retards into your country. It's gonna end badly. And especially if you believe the 100 years theory, the 100-year plan, that we're about, 30, 40 years into at this point? So within some of our lifetimes, you'll see it. You might be old and be like, oh, I remember when I saw Nux Taku talking about this.
Completely sympathetic to the plight of our European friends. Completely sympathetic. In the same way that I'm completely sympathetic to the plight of my American friends. All of the patriots in their countries, I'm completely behind them, taking back their countries and actually making their countries work for them, actually making their countries prioritize them in their own nations. I just pray that the French eventually just go, yeah, you know what? Decolonization does need to happen. It does need to happen. It's not good.
Yes, it
Not good
does.
for the people of France. Not good for the people of Britain or Germany or anywhere else.
And let's mail Hassan Piker to Turkey while we're at it.
For the pensions, like, well, one, I don't think it is. Like, yeah, I'm not persuaded by that at all. But two, even if it was, we'll find some other solution. This is just too much to bear. And almost everyone agrees, by the way. 83% of French are in favour of deportation of criminals and long-term unemployed foreigners.
Yes.
Because why are they here? Why?
100%. We should all be able to agree at least on that point. The problem is a lot of people won't even agree to that. A lot of people are ride or die on these issues because they like to piss the other side off, and that's it. That's literally all of it. After 9/11 happened, there was a lot of animosity towards Muslims. Which, I mean, considering a lot of people had only seen them in movies, and then every now and then seeing them, shirk across town. But they had really never had any contact with them, because most of the people who were in America were trying to get away from these people. Most of them. And then on the other hand, you had some of the ones who were basically sleeper cells, not unlike the North Korean ones and Chinese ones, or spies or what have you. And then over time, a lot of these kids grew up seeing a lot of this animosity and hatred towards Muslims and whatever country that they're from. And they already, because they were part of the LGBT communities, they had their animosity towards Christians and such already, and Republicans and so on and so forth. That mutual hatred of Christians kind of formed an alliance of sorts, and it's an alliance that cannot last, because even if you do get Christians to turn from their faith, even if you get Christians to not exist anymore, the both of you are still standing there, and I can guarantee you, of the two groups, the Islamist will win against the communist leftist. They will. Because the communist leftists don't know how to fight. They might have higher red intelligences, but they don't have the long-term determination of these people. These people are believers. And anyone who truly believes in their faith, to the extent that they will martyr themselves on average, they'll dominate, but we can't let it get to that point. It's horrifying, but the way things are going, hopefully Europe's at the point where they can turn things around, and hopefully we'll see that, and we'll do similar. And I'm not saying all of them or even a full ban or anything like that, but it's got to be a point where we can't just see that people are part of certain groups and just allow them to do all of these heinous illegal acts. You have to charge them with charges all the way across the board. Everything has to be truly equal. You cannot focus on equity. Equality has to be the outcome, and that's it. Without equality, the other guys win, I guess. The infinite retards that have been imported will win. But like I said, it seems to be turning around in Europe. 83% are in favor of deporting criminals and long-term unemployed people. That should be the bare minimum, again. But that being said, guys, I hate to end it on such a downer. I should have ended on the last story. But I really wanted to mention this because we had mentioned something about it in here somewhere. And this poor kid, his story deserves to be heard. The same way as Henry Novak. People are starting to see the other side. And that's good. Literally all you have to do to turn people, the same way that I was turned, and I'm not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination, but I did turn against the left. And all it took was knowing the facts on the ground. Knowing that I had been lied to a lot by people who I had loved and respected before. But that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and sign out for today. I'm Alfie Adamus. You guys have been awesome. I love you guys to death. To the moon and back. But yeah, Alfie Adamus.